You walk in the gym, you see someone setting up to deadlift like that. Something deep in your brain knows that that's unsafe and also very unathletic. Why is that? Why can we tell that something's not gonna work out very well from a performance and a safety standpoint? I'm Dr. Drew, and today we're talking about how we can move well and also move safely. Our bodies are wired to perform well while also staying safe so that we can continue to do the activity over time. Because really the point of working out is to feel good, to look good, to stay healthy. No one wants to come to the gym, not be as strong as they could be, and also get hurt. So what I'm gonna do is walk Allison through the 3-step framework that I've used with hundreds of people to make sure they stay safe, but also perform way better while they're deadlifting, kettlebell swing, jumping, but we'll start with the deadlift. So why should you care what I have to say? Well, just like reading a book so you can avoid the mistakes that the author made, I'm gonna give you a framework that I've created over the last 5 years to really dial down how to teach this for people. And the truth is, I used to not be very good at it. I've made lots of mistakes. I've worked with 18-year-olds who are lifting for college football. I've worked with 70-year-olds with back pain who wanna pick up their grandkids. The framework I'm gonna show you will work for you no matter where you are along that spectrum because it's the same for everyone. All right, enough of me talking. Let's get in the framework and let you move a little bit. So really what we need to do is to find neutral, hold it while we move, and then load the movement. Let me explain what that means. So let me show you what I mean by finding neutral and hold it while you move, and you'll realize why when you saw Allison do the bad example at the beginning, you knew it was bad and it was so scary. So really to start, you just find your neutral position, which is your ears over your shoulders, over your hips, over your ankles. You can think about that you're in the position the skeleton is in the anatomy textbook or something like that. You're gonna have a space in your low back and a space in your neck. That's normal. Your spine has those natural curves. Hold it while we move. What we're gonna do is imagine we're getting into that deadlift position where we bend forward, hinge at the hips. I'll have Allison show you that. Perfect. And really the difference between the bad example and the good example, and I'm gonna take the stick away from Allison, I'm gonna have her do a good example without the stick where she hinges forward. You can see that she's kept the normal curves of her spine while she gets into that position, while in the bad example, she completely let her spine round and lost that. So if you're like me, you wanna try it to believe it, get up and try this with Allison, and you're gonna see how keeping that neutral position improves your performance. What I want you to do, and what I'll cue Allison to do, is imagine you're gonna broad jump, which just means jump forward as far as you can. I want you to think and wind up like you're gonna do it, and then pause and see what position you naturally get into. You'll notice that you're not gonna make that mistake of bending forward at your spine. When you know you have to do something like jump forward, create tension in your hips, be powerful, strong, your body is naturally gonna find this neutral position. So that's the performance side of things. You can feel that you're gonna move better, you're gonna get stronger, be more athletic if you can do that, just like that jumping example. Let's talk about the safety side of things, and really it's the same movement difference, but I wanna explain to you so you can understand why this is so important and make sure that you can stay healthy while you do it. So the joints in your spine wanna work when they're in neutral. An easy way to feel that is to use your finger joint and imagine it's your spine. So when you press your finger into your palm as hard as you can when your finger's in the neutral position, it doesn't really hurt the pressing finger. If you let it bend forward, just like we did in the bad example of a deadlift and then press, it starts to really hurt. You can tell Allison doesn't love doing that. That's because it's stressing the joint, and over time that can cause injury. Recently, I was working with a woman who's about 25, and she really tweaked her back lifting the garbage out of the garbage can. She was really athletic, wanted to get back to lifting, and the same thing we needed to do to make sure she didn't hurt herself while she's taking the garbage out of the garbage can was the same thing that was gonna get her the results she wanted in the gym. So I really want you guys to take away that the way to move athletically and the way to move safely is the same when you're doing a hip hinge, a deadlift, basically. So we went through the first 2 steps of our framework, which is to find neutral, hold it while we move. The last thing is then to load the movement. Just like you got into your jumping example, obviously there's no weight in that example. So loading the movement would be adding a little bit of load or weight or repeating it multiple times. The reason this is so important is because loading the movement is going to require so much more motor control and strength to keep neutral while you move. It's a lot harder, obviously, to do this deadlift motion with 200 pounds than it would be with 0 pounds. The other thing to think about is the repetitions. Even if you're doing it with a relatively light weight, if you repeat it for 3 sets of 20, you'll notice that your form is a lot harder to maintain on the last set at number 15 due to fatigue and the muscles that stabilize and allow you to keep that good form. So let's watch as Allison sets up in neutral, holds it while she moves without weight, and then does it with a little bit of load for a set of 8. And you can see she's really maintaining that neutral while she moves, which is perfect. Thanks for watching. I hope that was super helpful. Have you ever dealt with sharp pain in your shoulder while you're lifting overhead? Then next week's gonna be for you. We're gonna talk about how you can do any kind of overhead pressing or lift with your best strength and the least chance of hurting yourself so you can get the most out of your time in the gym. If you want to go over anything we talked about today, I have about 3 spots open this week for free calls. I put the link below. If you're interested, make sure you grab that spot now.